You mentioned the other day you often play Snakes and Ladders. You like the game. You don't like the game.
I don't like the game at all.
Why?
I think I just woke up to the complete, I want to say ridiculousness of this whole game, forcing you into a position where you're either good or bad. So we either up the ladder and we get a prize, or we down the snake and we get punished. And that is not a place in my life where I want to find myself at all. Well, 3 years ago I was diagnosed with a life-threatening disease, and that actually, it struck me very deep in my heart, because it immediately brings you to a point where you start to question life, where you question God, where you question your journey with God, where you're confronted with life and death, where you're confronted with death and God, where you're confronted with life and God. And after serving Him for so many years, it was quite a shock to my system. You know, how could He allow it? And I had to sit down and actually decide for myself, you know, was that something that He's bringing across my path to punish me? Or was it something that He wants to help me to journey through, to get into a deeper relationship or a different relationship with Him? And it was a huge wrestling match for me at that stage. And when I decided, well, you know, if I've got X amount of years in my life to live, I'm not going to do it according to the rules of the Snakes and Ladder board. I wanted to be free, and I wanted to be complete, and I wanted to be full of life and energy. And for that reason, I had to do things differently in my life. You know, everyone has been playing Snakes and Ladders since we were very little. So you start at 1 up to block number 3, you hit a ladder and you're up the ladder, and you're so excited about that. And going to block number 10, there's a snake, and down the snake you go, and you're back at block number 4. And you carry on this whole game, and when kids play it, you can see the frustration. But that's when I realized in life you also have that frustration when you get to block number 98 and something huge, a liquidation or a disease or a crisis in your life hits home, and it takes you back to block number 4, and it becomes a massive spiritual crisis in your life. And the question is that the truth in our spiritual walk? And to me it was just no, because I could not think that God will do that to His children, you know, that He will bring you to a point and then just literally throw you back to where you've started. When I read that book of Alan, and I realized that the starting point is at number 100, it was quite a shock to my system, because if you want to move in my mind and in life, we move linear. And I realized if I want to move from block 100, I have to get off this board, and it can take me anywhere. It can take me up, it can take me down. I have to jump. It is a leap of faith that I have to take from 100 to wherever, because it's not necessarily that God is going to take me to 101. He can take me wherever He wants to. And there is no security in that. There is no direction in that. It is just something between Him and me. It's actually like a dance. It is like He's taking me onto the ballroom dance floor, and He leads me where He wants to lead me. And He can lead another person in another direction, and another one in another direction. It's not a game of rules anymore. It's much more a dance with God. To qualify for the block number 100 it's a fantastic place, and that is the work of Christ in your life. If you want to live on the block, on the Snakes and Ladder board, you have to live according to the rules of the Old Testament, where there's certain punishments and certain blessings. The work of Christ just gave me wings. And I could actually fly. Now I want to cry. Now I could just fly off that board. I could just be free. I could just go where He wanted me to go. If He wanted me to go up, then I'll go up. And if He wanted me to soar, then I'll soar. And if He wanted me to rest a little bit, I could rest. There was no fixed rule. I had nothing to do to please Him in that point of my life. And I realized as well that it's not a place that I will ever return to, is to try and please Christ, because I can never do that. I can only journey with Him. I can only dance with Him. I can submit my life and go wherever He wants to lead me. But if we don't understand that position, that on block number 100 is the cross, and nothing after that is according to rules.
Tell me about the butterflies.
Oh my goodness, the butterflies will make me cry. But that was such a beautiful picture that God gave me right in the beginning of my healing journey through a dream. And I was just descending from this snowy mountain on the back of a friend of ours. And when we came at the bottom, there was this beautiful tree full of butterflies. And then out of that flew this absolutely beautiful white embossed butterfly. And I tried to catch it. In my dream, my daughter said, don't touch it, it will break. And that became such a symbol in my healing journey, of God just being close by. And if I doubt, there would be just a butterfly that was flying away. And it was as though God would just say, just focus on me, not on anything else, just focus on me and keep that focus. And I realized, that the relationship with God is pretty much like a butterfly. It's fragile, it is free, it is beautiful, it cannot be caged. I can't tell the butterfly, fly left or fly right. He goes where he wants to go, and he flies with the wind. And I guess that's the Holy Spirit as well. A butterfly can never be captured by rules and regulations. But if I want to trap that butterfly on a snakes and ladder board, it will die. You cannot live life according to the rules and the regulations of every single person, let alone every single institution. You will die as a person spiritually and emotionally and eventually physically. We're not meant to be trapped. We're meant to be free.